Welcome everybody. Can everybody hear me now?
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's 4:00. We'll go ahead and get this thing started on the dot so we can get you all out of here and hopefully enjoying your afternoon on this extremely interesting day. Been reading just a little bit about what's going on in the nation's capital, so it seems like kind of an odd day today. So, but I do want to welcome you all for joining and participating in this session about Canvas. Just to kind of be upfront, this isn't so much a training session. Throughout the presentation, I'll begin. I'll have Jenny answer some questions or give a little bit of a presentation about the transition itself. And then Connor's actually going to give us kind of a rundown of what Canvas looks like and some of the things, the features that it has to offer as well. So to begin, I'm Ryan Faulkner. We've got, hopefully all of you or most of you have had a chance to work with or meet Jennifer Taylor and Connor Sperling. I would like to take this moment really quick just to have Evan Peterson. He is a new part of our team. He's going to be kind of spearheading a little bit of the transition for us, but I'm going to have Evan jump on real quick and just give a quick introduction of himself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone, my name is Evan Peterson. I just joined onto Ryan's team a couple weeks ago. So I'm currently working remotely I'm living over in Nampa with my wife. And I joined on mainly to spearhead. I'm sorry, I'm a little sick today, so sorry about the clearing and sniffly nose. But I'm here to kind of spearhead the actual kind of grunt of the transition of exporting courses out of Blackboard. Sorry, Brightspace was what I used at iHelpUI with their transition as well. Exporting out of Blackboard, importing it into Canvas, and then I'll do some cleanup before passing it off to you guys. But you'll see a little more about what that process looks like here in a minute. But yeah, I'm kind of taking the lead on that. Like I said, I do have some experience doing that before at BYU Idaho, so I'm excited to be here and help you guys with it. I think Canvas is a great tool. I'm excited to show it off to you guys today. Well, Connor will be showing it off, but I think it's a good tool.
Thank you, Evan. We're really grateful to have Evan on our team. He comes by way of a private job or a corporate job, I guess I should say, in the Boise area, and he's bringing some experience and helping us kind of get the back end of this survey that you had been asked to fill out, taking that data and trying to get it set up so that we can get it in a good fashion where we're keeping track of everything, not losing anything. So, and the whole point of what we're trying to do with that survey and getting some of the courses that you guys have now and getting it moved over is that we want to take that bit off your plate so you can focus on everything else going on with COVID. It's been crazy. We understand that. And the transition with Canvas is Lori stole my thunder on a couple of my points that I'll discuss quickly before passing the baton over to Jenny. But it kind of moved really quick, and I'll explain a little bit of that here in just a moment. So anytime, like I said, Jennifer Taylor, Connor Sperling, Evan Peterson, myself, please email any one of us if you have any questions or concerns. And we'll do everything we can to help you out, not only with Canvas, but with Blackboard and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. As I said, Lori might have stole a couple of my early points in her session earlier this morning, talking about Online Idaho. I just want to kind of reiterate what Online Idaho is. I don't know if everybody's got has had a great explanation of what it is, but just real quick, when COVID began, the state of Idaho, the State Board of Education came together and had these thoughts about how we could offer more online education. I don't know if it's something that was spurred by COVID or something they've been working on for a while, but when COVID hit, they really ramped it up. And they came to, the state board came together and said, hey, we've got two ideas. Either we start a 9th public institution in the state of Idaho, the 9th institution being a fully virtual online college, or we try to get the university and the colleges to work together and create a marketplace where we could put our classes out and anybody at any of the institutions could take it, or even folks that are not even in college, get an avenue to get the education out to people across the state more efficiently. It seemed that after a lot of discussion, it came back that the universities and the colleges came together as a group and made a compact to get these classes out there. So that is the way we're going. It's called Online Idaho. And at this point, we, as Lori said, we are one of 2 colleges that are actually gonna have classes ready to go in the spring semester, and they will be there's 10 sections of courses. The faculty members have already been contacted, and those courses are in process right now. They will be in Canvas, and that's kind of where this whole Canvas with the state of Idaho comes in. Part of that deal was they wanted to try to get everybody, they've been wanting this for 15 or 20 years, to get the state colleges and universities on the same page when it comes to an LMS, to get some buying power and that kind of deal. And so this is a part of that. So with Online Idaho, Canvas is kind of a neat way. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but if we put a class out in the marketplace and Boise State is also using Canvas, those students will actually just through some sort of weird magic, they'll just actually go into their Boise State Canvas, and our class will show up for them when they register for it. There's a lot of that work that still needs to be done. It's not quite there yet. So what we're doing for spring isn't quite that, but that's where this kind of began. And the state did choose to purchase licenses for everybody in the state for 3 years. So we're kind of rushing into it a little bit quicker than I think anybody really felt comfortable in doing so, but our Blackboard contract was running out June 30th. And instead of paying, tens of thousands of dollars to re-up that, we're kind of pushing forward. So thus, we're trying to take a little bit of that load off of the faculty members so that you're not having to take the Blackboard course, move it into Canvas, and figure out what's missing and what's not, because and that's where Evan's going to be leading that charge and helping us get going. So as he stated, him and Connor had at one point in time when they were BYU Idaho been a part of their Brightspace D2L transition into Canvas a few years back. And so they're bringing a really, really wonderful knowledge base for us. So at that point, I'm going to hand this over to Jenny. But as Connor put in his in the chat, if you've got any questions, if we could wait, you either put them in the chat, or if you could wait till we're done, we'll get through the little bit of show and tell, and then we'll have time to answer any and all questions that you may have. So at this point in time, Jenny, I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton over to you.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I'm going to leave my camera off because I was having internet issues earlier, and we're going to hopefully, me leaving my camera off will prevent that from happening again. Okay, so my job today is to just briefly go over the transition plan with you all so that we're transparent about what we're doing moving forward, and hopefully you have a better idea of what your role is and what our role is and what the deans and chairs roles are in general. Connor, can you go? Thank you. So I as an instructor, I kind of don't generally begin with, a cliche quote, but this is totally appropriate for what we're doing right now. And we're working as a team. So Andrew Carnegie once said, teamwork is the ability to work together towards a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. And I loved this quote in relation to what we're doing here, because I think this transition, and also what we're doing with Online Idaho in general, we have the college has a common vision in that we want to publish and create a well-working online program. And if we work together and perform our individual roles, we can really create a really awesome system or a program for our students across Idaho. And we do that, again, by working together. So Connor, can you go to the next slide? So we each have our individual roles. Obviously, as faculty members, you are the content experts. You're going to be spearheading, obviously, the content for the courses. But what the online learning team is charged with doing is being the facilitators of this transition. We have developed plans and processes and different expectations based on national standards to help us become that well-working system that is recognized as an accredited, but a program that people want to look to. And the deans and the chairs, they're going to be kind of the enforcers of this transition, not enforcers in a negative term or a negative light. They're the ones that are going to help you guys, working with you to get you to the point where your courses are published and they're meeting national standards, especially for online, not necessarily face-to-face, but those who are teaching online specifically. So again, we're all working together, but we're all working together for the student. And the main objective here is to again, create a system or a program that is effective for the student, and not only here at CEI, but also on a broader scale. Okay. Next. Okay, so what does the transition look like? Well, it's really simple in that you won't have access until you teach. So, for example, those who are teaching first are those who are going to be teaching for Online Idaho in this first late 8-week session, spring session. So there's about 10 instructors who are going to be teaching. They're kind of our test group for Canvas in the late 8-week course, in the late 8-week spring semester. And they're going to have access to their courses relatively soon, but no later than February. This means that we've transitioned the courses that they wanted transitioned, and that we've cleaned them up to make sure that they're meeting the user experience standards, and that they're more unified in how they look and they feel. And then once we finish with that cleanup stage, we're going to hand over their courses, and they can build the content better or fix the content. Those who are teaching in the summer, they're not going to have access to Canvas until right around March, maybe sooner. And then fall instructors are going to have access to Canvas and not until June, or at the latest June. These are just estimated dates. But to be a little bit more clear, if you have not been contacted by us that you are teaching in Canvas, then you are not teaching in Canvas. So we will be very clear in contacting and communicating, contacting you and communicating with you when you are going to be teaching in Canvas and when you're going to have access to Canvas. So next, okay. So in general terms, there are some stages that this transition or the rollout plan goes through. And the first is gathering information from you guys. So we need information about what courses you want transitioned to Canvas, so that, like Ryan mentioned, we can make the whole process easier, a lot easier for you as the instructor, where you can just focus on the content. You don't have to worry about navigation or building anything. You can, or at least initially, you can just kind of work on content. So our job right now, and Evan's job, is to spearhead this transition from Blackboard to Canvas. So if you haven't filled out that survey that we sent out in, I believe we sent one out in November and also in December, please do, because this will help us. Even if you're teaching just a face-to-face class, it'll just help us get information from Blackboard that you want into Canvas. Then the next stage is really going to be about training. So as insurance, every instructor needs to go through the CEI Canvas teacher training. Again, this is insurance for the college, no matter how proficient you are with Canvas already, that you are ready and prepared and know how to use the basic functions of Canvas. So every faculty member will need to complete this course before they have access to their specific Canvas course. So then the next stage is going to be accessing your Canvas course. Once you have access to your course, you're going to also be enrolled in the CEI Faculty Community Forum, which is a forum where we as faculty members can communicate with each other about successes or problems, or share resources. And then also you can access various resources in this forum as well. And then the next stage after that is you're going to be it's kind of the same, but sort of different. You're going to be working with your dean, or your chairs and your deans, to make sure that your course is ready for publication, not just for CEI, but hopefully for, a larger scale when we move more courses into Online Idaho. And this means that specifically for online courses, you'll need to go through a more, I guess, fine tuning process so that your courses are ready and meet those national standards. Then lastly, once you go through that process, your course is ready to publish and you're ready to get it out there and share it and teach your students. So that's basically the rollout plan, or how it's going to flow. So what can you do at this point? Well, you really don't need to do anything until you're contacted by us. So we're going to be reaching out to you with what you need to be doing when it's time for you to be doing whatever it is that we want you to do. But something that you can do is, if you haven't completed that survey, please do that. We can send it out to you if it's lost in your email, that's totally fine. And then another thing that I would recommend is save any of the content that you have housed in Blackboard, because remember, we're going to be losing that contract at the end of June. Is that right? End of June? Yeah. And so it'll be a lot easier for you to access content that you want to save if you can download it or export it to your desktop. But again, if that's content that you want to be transitioned into Canvas, please let us know, fill out a survey, and we can get that transitioned over for you. So that's basically it. That's my part. I'm going to turn it over to Connor now to show you Canvas, and he can, along the way, just so you know, we are going to be doing a lot of different tech tip tutorials about Canvas in general, but Connor's going to show you the basics. And we're all really excited about Canvas, and it's a great tool. So hopefully you will be too.
There you go, I'm unmuted. Okay, thank you, Jenny. Yeah. So again, this is not going to be like Jenny said, this is not a comprehensive guide on how to use Canvas. It's just a quick little look-see, and hopefully I can show you a couple of things that we think are pretty cool, like good changes in Canvas, and hopefully I can show you a few things that are different, and it might be pain points, just things to be aware of in thinking about how you want to move forward with your classes. And again, we'll be in touch with you and work with you to make sure that your course transitions properly and is in good shape for the new LMS and for your students long before you have to teach it. So don't worry about that. We will be there to hold your hand if you need it, or if you feel comfortable, that's fine too. Good luck. So at some point, you will all have Canvas on your web apps page. So you'll be able to click on it just like you have been with Blackboard. And it'll be, if you're on campus, I think there's a drop down bookmark that you'll be able to have. But we'll click on it, open it up, and it will be your dashboard is what it's called. This is your Canvas homepage, your Canvas dashboard. So all of these are called cards, and they're just your courses. So you'll all have a teacher training course. This is a full, like a robust, a deep dive, self-paced training course on how to use Canvas that you will all have. Again, we'll do some other live demonstrations and things like that, longer, hour and a half long walkthroughs of this. And of course, there's lots of videos. We're going to try to get as many avenues to get that training as possible so that nobody slips through the cracks and you all are able to understand the system before we get you in it and before you have to build your classes. So hopefully everybody will be fine. These are, you can move these and put them in whatever order you want. You can rename these if you wanted. If the naming convention, if you don't like how the courses are named, you can always name this Thursday, Friday Psychology 101, or, or Monday, Wednesday Psych course, or whatever you want to name it. And that won't change it for the students. It only changes it for you. So that's a convenient way to make sure that you can tell things apart. We can also add dashboard images right here. And we'll be making some generic ones to fit different departments and things like that. But that's up to you. Again, here's all the published courses. Here's all the previous ones. Over on the navigation menu, here's the courses button, and you can click on all courses to see all of your previous classes. You can also, on that menu on all courses, you can put stars next to the ones that you want to see, and you can unstar the ones that you don't want to see. So that should clean up this area a little bit for you. Over here on the right side of the screen, you've got a coming up list and a recent feedback list. That coming up list will show you two different things. It will show you the assignments in your classes that are coming up for your students. It will also show, and I don't have any here currently, but it will also show you assignments that students have submitted or finished and that need graded. So this icon right here would change to, I believe it's a blue circle with a number inside, and it might say 24 or whatever. The number inside indicates how many submissions need graded, how many ungraded submissions are on that assignment. So that's a really quick way for you to know what you need to grade, and you can just click on it and it will open up the grade book, and you can just go through and grade everyone's assignments. So that's really convenient. I think it's really great. As for recent feedback, anytime you leave comments or feedback for students, they can reply back to your feedback and say, I don't quite understand what that means, or is there a way that I can correct this or whatever. I don't know what the students would want to say. And you will get a notification right here under recent feedback that students have messaged you back. And so you can have a dialogue that way. So that's pretty nice. Before I click on one of the courses and show you inside, let me just show you the calendar over here on the nav bar. The calendar's really nice. I think it works really, really well, I think. So over on the right side, you'll see here's all the calendars for your different courses. You can turn them off and filter those. You can change the colors of them as well if you wanted to indicate your courses in some other way. And over here, you should see each of the dates corresponding with the color over here on the side. And you can move these around. You can just click and drag and move those to a different date. And when you do that, it changes that date for that assignment everywhere in the course. It's a really quick way to just adjust your dates. Canvas does have built-in, when you copy a course from semester to semester, so from spring semester to fall semester, you can input the spring semester start and end dates and the fall semester start and end dates, and it will automatically bump all of the due dates so that they're on the same day of the week, just pushed, a couple months forward. So that makes due date management a little bit easier. But then, of course, you'll have to adjust for different holidays and things like that. And this calendar makes that really simple, where you can just, okay, actually, this day is a holiday, or this is Martin Luther King Day, so we need to bump this over. That's actually going to be due on Wednesday, or whatever it may be. There's one other way that you can adjust all the dates in the assignments that's really neat and brand new. And I forgot to show that in the last session, but I'll show you guys how simple that is. So the calendar is really nice in Canvas. Let's look now at a course. I'm going to open up with Ryan's permission. I'm going to open up his 8-week course that he's been working on. This is, you'll notice right off the bat, here's a home page. And here's the new navigation bar. Let me start with the course navigation bar over here, because this is a big difference. In Blackboard, you were able to add your own items into this course navigation bar. You cannot do that in Canvas. What you see is what there is. You'll notice some of these have eyeballs with slashes through them. That means they're not visible to students currently. They're still visible to you as the instructor, and you can use them, and you will use them. But currently, only these items from People Up are available. And we've gotten a directive from the deans. They would like us to implement a little bit more standardization so that students have a consistent look and feel in their courses. When they first start, all of their classes have the same navigation, or at least very similar navigation. And so this list has sort of been that standard that we've decided to implement. So home, syllabus, announcements, modules. This is your content area. It's called modules now. Grades and people, I think. Maybe discussions, maybe not discussions. And modules is where you'll need to put all of your content, since you can't add those items. You can't add new items to this navigation bar. So that could be a pain point for a lot of people. But hopefully this will simplify students' lives, because there's one spot. They just go here and everything will be listed. Let me just show the modules and I'll come back to the homepage. One thing about the modules is that it's a big, long scroll. Big, old, long scroll. So all of your stuff is right here. And that's kind of annoying for students and teachers. So what we've done is we've created a homepage, and we have an 8-week version and we have a 16-week version with the module button. So you can click on module 4 if that's the week that you're on, and it will just drop you all the way down to module 4. So you don't have to deal with that big scroll. It just drops you right into the content that you have. You'll also notice that there aren't folders in modules anymore. There are modules like this. You can open and close them, but there are text headers, and there's the ability to indent assignments underneath that, pages and assignments. So you can indicate, here's this section and here's the stuff that goes underneath it. And you'll notice all of this is sort of indented nice and neat, so the students understand what comes where and what how things are grouped. But that's another difference between this and that. You'll notice also on the homepage, we've got a couple other links. Obviously, with student services, here's the Canvas student guides, library resources, and the IT help desk. These all link to their websites. The Canvas student guides are just they're guides made by Canvas, and it has everything, every issue students could ever have, or not even issues, just how to navigate, how to use all the Canvas tools. And they have amazing guides that are constantly updated, and they're really simple to follow. And so if students run into issues, this is a great place for them to find answers to questions. Or they can click on this help button over on the global nav bar. This is the same for you as well, for faculty. This is sort of the same thing. Search the Canvas guides. If you click on that, then there will be options for student or instructor help guides, which again are really nice. There's also a live chat for student and faculty if you want to do just a live chat. And there's a 24-hour phone support line for faculty and students. So there's a lot of options to get help when you need technical help and support from Canvas directly. You don't have to go through IT. You don't have to go through our office when you're grading papers at 8 o'clock at night. You can talk directly to Canvas and get help from, or on the weekend or whatever. Talk to them. They're always available. That's a great service that we've got access to. So please use it yourselves and let your students know that service is available. Hopefully we can get everybody the support that they need. So that help button is really great. Let's look at how to create some assignments. So I'm going to click on assignments and we will open one up. Let's see. I'm going to open up, this is an assignment icon, discussion board icon, and the rocket ship is a quiz icon. So let's open one of these up and I'm going to edit it. And this is what the editing menu looks like. I wanted to show this because it's fairly consistent across all of the assignments and quizzes and discussion boards. You've got a lot of the same look and feel. So it should look familiar every time you open up a different assignment. So you've got the title at the top, you've got your discussion, you've got your description box where you can put in whatever you want. You can put attachments and things in here, links and everything. Point values, assignment groups. This is like the grading categories in Canvas. They're called assignment groups. For assignments, you have a couple of specific things. You can change what submission types you have, how many attempts they're allowed, et cetera, et cetera. Plagiarism review, which is something that we may or may not get. So stay tuned for that. And then there's an
Real
assigned
quick,
to
we've got
box,
it.
and I wanted to mention, oh, nice. We have plagiarism review. So we'll be able to unit check. Oh, it's there already. So we'll be able to turn that on and do plagiarism check for assignments. So that's fantastic. I'm sure we'll give everybody more information about how you can use that and how it can be used and who can use it and everything too. I don't know if it's a global thing for everybody, but more information will come about plagiarism check. I wanted to show this assigned to box. This is where you put the due dates. One thing I wanted to mention is only the due dates show up in the calendar. So make sure that every assignment has a due date so that it does. But you can also add available dates, available from and until. So this will block them from starting early or from finishing after the due date. If you want to have a hard date, like they have to finish it by January 13th at 11:59, I would do the due date and the until date, and then they can't continue to do the assignment after that. So I would mark those. If you have students that need some kind of special accommodation, click on add right there, and you can put in a student's name. And we don't have any students in this class, but you can type in their name or do a section or a group, and then give them a different due date. And they get additional time to work on that. And you can add as many of those as you want. You can add a bunch, you can add multiple names into one box, or you can add multiple boxes. So that's it's really simple. I wanted to show one more thing. I'm not going to show how to make quizzes or discussions. Very similar. Should be fairly straightforward. I think it's pretty intuitive, but we'll continue to work on it. But I do wanted to show. I promised I would show due date changes. If you click on the assignments tab, you can click on these three dots up here, and we can edit assignment dates. And this will create a big page where you have all of the assignments and all of their dates, and you can see the available from and until dates. You can even select all of them and just bump them over. You can do batch editing. So this is super easy and convenient way to change your due dates, and I hope that's cool. I think it's cool. So hopefully that should be helpful. Let me think. I could show the grade. Let me show a grade book really quick, and then we will move on to questions and answers. So keep putting questions in the chat, and we'll answer all those. I don't think we have a ton of them right now, so I'll just keep going for a little bit. Show you the grade book. I think I've got some students and grades in this one. Here's what the grade book looks like. We've got some students. These are all a bunch of people. We've got admins and stuff in here just checking things out. The grade book looks it's really simple. You can just click, and then you can use arrow keys to move around like an Excel sheet and change all these. You can use tab and enter to play with these as well. There's lots of great options. If you click on the top, you can curve grades. You can message students who have scored below a certain percentage, or students who haven't completed this assignment yet, and it will send them an email with whatever you put in so that they know. You can set a default grade, which means you can just give everyone, if this is a attendance score or something, you can just give everybody in the whole class 20 out of 20 and then put in zeros for the people that didn't attend or whatever, or participation grade. Lots of options there. And you can get to the speed grader, which is where you'll actually do the grading for assignments. So on a submission like this, on an assignment submission, you've got the full editing tools up at the top. There's highlighters and text boxes and strike throughs and a pen to draw around. You can use rubrics, and you can just click. The rubrics are really nice and neat. Or you can just add in a score. You can leave comments and feedback. And this is where I mentioned earlier that students can respond back to your comments and feedback when they see them. So, and then you can just keep clicking next and go to the next student and the next student and the next student up here on the top. So it's called the speed grader. It works really well. I think it's a pretty good grading, pretty good way to grade. So I think that's all that I will show for now. I'm happy to show more if we want. But we'll go ahead and answer whatever questions people have. So we'll answer, Evan will go through and start answering questions that we have in the chat. And if you have other questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask them. And we will do our best to help however we can. So hopefully that's helpful.
So Christian Godfrey asked, would it be possible to turn Canvas on for the general faculty with only access to the Growing with Canvas class so we can begin getting trained?
Part of that is difficult because I forgot to mention before Connor began his presentation was we're still in transition phase. We have not completed the full transition, and right now we do not have the connector between self-service, and so we're trying to limit how many manual accounts we create because we're not sure what's going to happen when we connect the self-service up. And we're doing testing on it right now on our test site. And I think we're going to try to do a live test here in the next little bit. So if that's the case, we probably could, but it may start pulling in courses and things like that. So we're still trying to work out how this works with Canvas as opposed to how our connector worked with Blackboard.
That is a priority. One of our top priorities right now is to get that working, and then we will give everybody access to that course and to their own sandbox, like a blank course where you can play around. We'll probably get everybody in those long before we get your actual classes back. We'll get you in that course and we'll get you a sandbox. So
yeah, we're not trying to keep people
before the month is out, right?
Yeah, and we're not trying to keep people out. It's just there's so many moving pieces in here, and if we don't get them connected up correctly, it'll end up either doubling up work for people because there's a number of things that have to happen for the single sign-on to work and all that. And Josh, we'd love to have people going, but unfortunately, without that connector, it would be us doing every single thing by hand or pulling CSV files from the. So we'd love it, and I'm glad people are excited about it because I'm not sure how many people are excited about it, how many people are like, oh crap, this is just more work to do. But the main thing is that we're focusing on the online Idaho, and we're hoping to have the connector up and working for that for sure. Just because if not, then we're on a daily basis 4 or 5 times a day for that first week of add drops. We're pulling accounts in because in these 8-week courses, a student cannot afford to wait a day or two to get into a course. So I think we're pretty close on that. We've been working with Karen's team, and she has been doing some testing. And like I said, I'm hoping to actually do a live test with actually Mike, just to see if we can get it to work correctly. But the thing is we don't want to do something that causes Blackboard and that connector to malfunction right at the beginning of our semester as we're doing all the add drops for that, as well as doing this. So, but our goal is like we said, the Online Idaho folks, they have to have this up and running. They need to be ready to go by, I think it's March 8th or something like that. And then we're going to focus on those faculty members that are teaching a summer course. We just need to make sure that we've got those folks in that in that line, that we get them everything they need right as they need it, so that they're not, getting a class like a week before they're supposed to teach it and they haven't had any training or, had their actual class in their hands. So the main thing is we'll get you in the training, and then we're hoping, and then the other bit of this is that we have 300 or 400 courses we're manually moving over and going back through and going through all the bits and pieces. Canvas and Blackboard have different tools. So Blackboard has some tools that don't exist in Canvas. They just don't show up. So at some level, we're going to be going back in and counting some of those items, making sure that something wasn't missed. Like if you use the mashup tool, that doesn't exist. It just doesn't go over. There's no placeholder, just nothing. So there's a few of those things that we're kind of trying to double check and make sure we're ready to go. So that's where. Sorry, go ahead, Jenny.
No, I was just going to say, to add to that, just to give some perspective, and I don't think this was mentioned, but usually this type of a transition takes universities about over a year to do, and we're doing it in a very condensed amount of time. And like Ryan said, there's a lot of moving parts. So we're working hard to get you guys access to stuff, but it does take some time. So we appreciate your patience.
Yeah, and some colleges and universities pay the $5,000-$10,000 or however much more for like Boise State or somebody. I know it's a lot more than that, and they just pay a company to come and do all that transition for them. That wasn't part of our deal with the state. So, like I said, we get 3 years with the state of Idaho. They're that serious about what they want to do and how they want to help us out, or help the universities and help education out. So we're kind of ended up on the cheap trying to do this, but we'll do it as fast as we can and do as much quality as we can as well.
Yep. We'll do our best. Any other questions?
I have a question. It's kind of specific and maybe not pertinent, but I'm just curious about the requesting of office hours because I'm currently in Canvas at BYUI, and so this sounds really cool to me. So I'm just wondering how that works exactly.
Well, requesting office hours?
Yeah, that's
No,
on the calendar feature.
In the calendar,
Oh, nice. Very cool.
not so much office hours, but an appointment. I apologize.
Right.
I mistyped, but there is an
I know what you
option.
meant. Yeah. So
You want me to-
students just can see the calendar and then they go and like it emails you the time they want to do it, or do you know how it
Mhm.
works?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. So yeah, she's talking about in the calendar there, if you click on a date, you've got a couple of things you can do. You can set up an appointment group, or you can set the name. This is my office hours. Here's the date, here's the time range, and I want to divide them into this many slots, and I want to have this many students and only however many appointments, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it will send you a message in Canvas. This is another thing to note, actually. So Canvas has an inbox, an email inside of it. And if you want to make sure that you get those emails in your Outlook, you want to make sure that you have notifications turned on. So you go to Account, Notifications. You want to make sure that you have Conversations all set to notify immediately. Notify immediately. And then you'll get those emails. So
Oh, but as the
that
instructor,
out.
you have to like set up the time and then the students can request. Is that right? Okay.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you'll want to set this up. You'll do appointment group. You'll select the class right here. We'll say Psych 101. Or you could do, I think you can do all of them. So you can do a bunch of classes. So you could just have one office hour for all of your classes. And then you set how many and how long and from when to when and everything right here. And then, yeah, this you'll probably just want to do like an announcement to your students or just let them know there's going to be appointments.
Well, in that
'cause they
details box
won't get a
below,
notification.
you can add like a Zoom link or whatever.
Yeah,
like
I don't-
add those details or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know you can
The
even
students-
bring
I guess this
Zoom.
probably shows up in their calendar.
You can bring Zoom into
Go ahead.
Canvas. And so, I was just going to say, yeah, I know you can bring
Mhm.
Zoom into Canvas as a link and then it will automatically be in your calendar with the link and everything for them. But
Mhm.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, we can integrate that. Yeah, sorry, I don't know if that was detailed enough. We can certainly work on that. We can work on that a little more, but it's a cool little tool. Also, I wanted to mention, we mentioned it in the last meeting, and I think it's worth bringing up. Jen just mentioned integrating Zoom. Canvas is really great at integrating all of the third-party tools that you guys might have. So McGraw-Hill and Pearson, MyOpenMath, any of those kinds of integrations they work great inside of Canvas. Canvas loves putting third-party tools inside of it. So don't worry about how that integration might work. I promise it'll be great. It'll work well. Just mention that when you're filling out, if you haven't already filled out your survey about what classes you want us to pull across for you, there's a box in that survey where you mention what third-party tools you want, McGraw-Hill or whatever. If you have already filled it out and you didn't put those third-party tools in, just shoot any of us an email, myself, Ryan, Jenny Taylor, or Evan Peterson, and we'll make sure that we mark that in our records so that we know what tools you want. But we make sure that we've got it set up, and we chat with the vendors and have everything ready for you. So let us know.
One thing, sorry, I just thought of this, but speaking of integration, we can also integrate Zoom into Canvas as well, right? We've got that set up now, which I just want to add because I thought it was cool.
You're cutting out a bit there, Jenny.
Shoot. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, it's really non-consequential information. I'm just really excited about the integration that Canvas has with Zoom, or excuse me, Teams with Teams. So that's all.
Yeah. Teams and Zoom are both really great integrations. If we're still doing interactive web conference classes for the foreseeable future, then these are good integrations. So.
Well, we may or may not get the Zoom one integrated in just because we don't have licenses for everybody, and I'm not sure how that works, but we'll have to do some testing on that. One thing that we have done that is actually really great, and I hope works out for more faculty than it ever did for Blackboard because it never worked. We've already connected OneDrive to the HTML editor. So if you have documents you want to share among multiple classes, or you just want to keep your information in our OneDrive, it's single sign-on now. It's already connected up. So if you want to pull a document directly from your OneDrive, you'll just click on the icon, and we'll have information on how that works, because I think that could save some of our faculty a lot of time. So if you're kind of working among multiple different courses, but you're using similar files or the same files, it'll be, I hope, a lot better for you with your organization to be able to just pull files into separate courses and things like that. But Canvas is just a tool. I don't know how many folks on this call have ever used it or have created a course with it. It's got its goods, it's got its bads. It's still just a tool. And so as we've been working with the deans, they've kind of had a plan for how they wanted the training to go down, and the way they wanted to see the standardization. They kind of see this as being that turning point. We understand not everything at the school is going online, but events from the COVID, they did a COVID survey, and from when the dean share with us the comments from specifically the online courses, we're talking about technology, there has been a lot of discussion from students about wanting to see standards, or they want one class to look like another. And as Jenny and Connor had worked so hard during COVID to get some new standards kind of set up with our online courses, it seems that's paying off. The students really are excited about the navigation being more universal. So they've taken a lead. We're working closely with them. So as you've noticed, I know that some of the deans have actually been sending, or the chairs have been sending out messages about the transition survey and things like that. They're playing a really active part in what we're doing here. And so is we've been working closely with them and doing some research for them, and we take things to them. And so like the dashboard navigation, all that kind of stuff, that was all kind of working with them. So and where they want to see the LMS, how they want to see the LMS kind of grow from here. So
Christian had a good question in the chat there. My internet's spotty, so I don't know if you guys want to answer that.
I'll jump on. So Christian, basically you're going to pick the one course, and if you've got an 8-week and a 16 and they're the same course, but you'll pick one for each of those. We're not going to move every single course from Blackboard over. That's why we're asking you to pick the ones that you're going to be teaching from now all the way through the future. So if you've got 8 courses that are all different courses, we're not asking for people to take different sections, because I'm assuming that your section, unless they're different, that's one thing. But if you're teaching three 101 sections of the exact same stuff, we're just trying to get that one over, and then we can, once we get everything in Canvas, we can copy that information over. So
yeah, we'll be archiving Blackboard courses, like so student data and stuff won't be lost from Blackboard, but
well,
we won't be
in the once Blackboard's gone, it's gone, and it will be gone. I've been having some issues with them lately, and that brings up another thing I'll talk about in just a second when it comes to storage and space and videos and things like that. But they're not happy. Blackboard is not happy that the state of Idaho has taken this role, and some of the
Go
schools are
figure. Go
some of the
figure.
schools are bailing. They're not happy about it. So our contract ends June 30th of 2021. I would not expect to have access. I've talked to one school in the state that switched before all this happened, and they had 2 or 3 months. I would not expect that from them right now. They are not really happy about what's going on. And we haven't really told them that we're cutting our contract with them yet. So legally, we don't have to until 30 days before, because they've been such jerks about some of the things going on. So moving on to
Look,
what
just
I'm
real
dealing
quick
with
before you-
with Blackboard right now. Oh,
Real quick before you move on, Ryan, just the solid answer to your question, Christian. Everybody needs to fill out the survey regardless of when you're going to be teaching next. We assume most people will be teaching summer and fall on, but any classes that you want converted into Canvas, we have to do it manually. So we need to know what classes you want converted now so we can get those put into Canvas before it's gone in June. So please fill out the survey. Everyone fill out the survey, and we'll make sure that we get whatever data you need copied across.
And then also, sorry, did you guys say to export your course content? If there's old course material that you want to keep, make sure that you're exporting that Blackboard content onto your desktop or wherever, so that information is not lost.
and don't stress how to do that yet. And then
We'll be sending
in
out
the
more
next
information
2
about how
weeks,
to
I'll
do
be sending
that.
an email out. Yeah, we're gonna have to. So right now we've got in Blackboard, we've got courses going back to fall of 2016. All of 2016, all 2017 is going to have to be deleted because of space issues. So going back to Blackboard, with Canvas, they assure me that every school in the country is on this same exact kind of plan. Basically, everybody gets half a gig of data, and that cuts what we have right now with Blackboard completely in half with what we're going to get with Canvas. So they basically count anything that's a media file as storage space, and there's actually a cutoff in Blackboard to not allow you to upload a certain size. So what does that mean? If you're making videos, you'll end up using YouTube, OneDrive, Google Drive, if that's the way you want to go. But most likely, if you've got large media files, they will be housed in the cloud, just because that's just the way they kind of roll with that. If you do make videos and licenses to a product called Screencast-O-Matic, and we've got the pro version of it. And if anybody's interested in that, email me and I will get you that account. They have a free version. What you get with the pro version is speech to text. You get a simple video editor, and you have the ability to record over 15 minutes, but we definitely always recommend that you chunk your videos up into bits and pieces instead of doing like a half hour, an hour long video. Just research shows that students, it's better if I know if you've got one long lecture, and if you're teaching like a math class, that can be kind of difficult, but if you can break them into pieces so that students can digest it a little bit better. But with this, it's all out in the cloud. You just share the link into this. So.
All right, I think that's our time. So if anybody has any additional questions,